Hi, my name is Lena, and I collected research on chapters 1 and chapters 2 of V.S. Ramachandran's book, Phantoms in the Brain. And basically, chapter 1 is a very simple intro about the unsolved mysteries of the brain. However, chapter 2 delves more into phantom limb phenomenon itself and the different things that may be associated with why that phenomenon occurs. And so one thing that chapter really delves into is cortical reorganization. So basically, this first part is going to be on what Ramachandran at the time believed cortical reorganization was about. So basically, a cortical map is a map in your brain based off of the homunculus, and it becomes affected by a stimulus, it changes, and it creates a new map in the brain based off of some sort of traumatic event or some sort of injury that you've had to your body. It basically reshapes that map in your brain in order to perceive something. And so in Ramachandran's book in chapter 2, Tom basically, it focuses on a person named Tom, and he loses his arm in a car accident, and he begins to experience what's called phantom limb phenomenon. And so in this case, I'll show you this map here. So if you look here, this is the homunculus, and this is the somatosensory cortex of the brain, the sensory and the motor strip. And so there are different parts, basically, of the strip devoted to different parts of the body. And so when Tom lost his arm, this is basically what happens. So cortical remapping for Tom. So this is what it normally looks like. It looks like this, where the hand and the face are two separate things. However, they are pretty close together in that somatosensory cortex. But this is what happened to Tom in that case in chapter 2. And so the face basically took over where that hand used to be. So you can see here, the hand was here, the face was here, and the face took over that region of the homunculus. And so in that case, Tom, he started to experience whenever someone touched his face or he touched his face, the hand, he'd feel that in his phantom limb. That wasn't actually there, but he perceived that it was being touched, which is fascinating. And so I took that, and that book was published in 1998. I conducted some more recent research on cortical reorganization, and so I found this article from 2014. It was written by Taub, and so it's fairly recent. He claimed that topographically precise facial remapping, so basically the thing that Ramachandran was claiming was happening to Tom, is apparently something that's rare. It occurs actually in less than 7% of the amputee population by 2000. And then it said in that article as well, less than 3% of the amputee population by 2003. And so he said is therefore of unclear general significance. Like I said, that book was published in 1998. He made it clear, though, Taub did, that Ramachandran's idea was very fantastic and groundbreaking for the neuroscience field because it did show a very clear relationship between cortical organization and reorganization and sensory experience and how you perceive the world. And so again, there's that diagram where normally there's the hand in that somatosensory strip of that part of the cortex, and then it's gone once your arm has been lost. So it says following arm amputation right there. And so in that case, the face takes over that region, and you start to feel that in the face. You start to feel that phantom limb. And then I also found another article written by Crawford in that same year, 2014, so still fairly recent compared to when the book was written. And she stated basically that if that homuncular invasion were the cause of phantom limb syndrome, and mislocation was the quintessential perceptual correlate of remapping, then why did topographically precise remapping become so rare? It's a fantastic research question, and I tried to research even more about it, but researchers are still trying to find the answer to that question. It's very difficult to explain and difficult to find the true cause of phantom limb phenomenon. But basically, since the mid-1990s, here's what I found. Researchers have found that there are dynamic cortical reorganization maps that do shift, they disappear, and they expand over time. And so you can see this diagram. I believe this is supposed to represent the 5 fingers, so if someone loses their hand, you have these 5 regions, and there's some gray area shaded right here, and then after it starts to expand, and it doesn't show it here, but there are times where it does disappear, it does reorganize itself, it expands over time, they shift, so there's definitely that dynamic map going on, and so that's definitely tied to a potential cause of phantom limb phenomenon.